Hello and welcome to My Okie Life. Today we're going to be talking about the Jackery 2000 Pro and whether or not it can power a 5,000 BTU air conditioner in a little 2016 Runaway Navigator camper. Notice on some of the forums for the Runaway campers and the Jackery site, people are asking about, if it can run a 5,000 BTU air conditioner. And if so, how long? So today I figured I would do a test because it's pretty hot today. So we're going to go on inside the camper. All right, well, it's been extremely hot here in Oklahoma. This last 3 weeks we've been over 100 degrees almost every day. So let's get some light in here. All right, so it says it's 106 in the camper and 108 outside the camper. Cleared the timer, so it's sitting at 00. Jackery is sitting at 97%. We're going to turn on the AC. And set it about 5. We'll set it about 6. And we'll just let this run. We'll start the timer. And we'll just see how long it takes to deplete the Jackery 2000 Pro. There are some things I don't like about this Jackery one glaring thing that I don't like about this Jackery that we'll discuss after we get done with this test. So we'll just see how long it'll last. According to the Jackery, at 453 watts, and it usually is between 450 and 460 watts when the compressor's run, and it says it'll go for about 4.5 hours. But obviously it'll kick on and off, so it'll take a little bit longer than that for it to go out. So, but after we're done with this test, I'll give you some of my thoughts on this Jackery. We'll check back. I'll do periodic checkups on it. We'll get an inside temperature and just to show that it is cooling. I'll put the thermometer over here back a little ways. So we'll see you in a little bit. All right. We're at 59 minutes. I forgot this timer only goes to 100 minutes, so, but I started this exactly at 3 o'clock. Let me check here and make sure. Yeah, we are 3:59 right now, so it's been exactly an hour. Shows it's 73 degrees in here right now and 105 outside, so, which is about right. The walls still a little warm. It takes a lot to cool this thing down right at first, just because it's set hot for so long. I forgot to mention that the lights and everything is running off the Jackery 500, so that's not going to be part of the drain on the Jackery 2000 Pro. So we're an hour in. We're pulling 476 watts. We're at 74%. It says it has 3.1 hours left, so it probably hasn't shut off yet at all. So, and I do have it at between 5 and 6, so, which is pretty close. I mean, 73 degrees is pretty much where I would sleep. To me, that's comfortable in here. We're right smack dab in the heat of the day right now. So, like I said, we're sitting at 74%. 3.1 hours left. I'm going to reset the timer and we'll start it for the next hour, and we'll see where it's at in the next hour. So I'll be back. All right, I also wanted to document that I have the Jackery Solar Saga 100, which is hooked up to the Jackery 500. And up here on the top of the Runaway is my 180 watt solar panel, which is hooked into the Jackery 2000 Pro. So that's going to play an important part a little bit later in this video, but for now, let's go check what's going on inside the camper. All right, so 67 degrees inside and 105.4 still outside. Scorching hot day, very hot day. We're right at another hour on the timer. I set the Frigidaire at setting 4, which is right around 70 degrees, which is pretty comfortable. We're pulling 481 watts right now. We're at 52% on the Jackery 2000 Pro. But I would like you to take note, this is plugged into the solar panel outside, which is in sun. And if you look at that input, you'll see that it's 0 watts. And that's the issue I have with this, and we'll cover it a little bit later in the video. Now, in contrast, I am running the little LED lights and a couple other things off the Jackery 500. And if you look at it, it's plugged into the Solar Saga 100 panel outside at 100%. It's using 37 watts, 36 watts, and it's also bringing in 36 watts. So it's actually charging while being plugged in. And the issue, like I said, with the Jackery is it doesn't want to do that. So I know how to fix it. They're very much aware of the problem. They claim it's not a problem. It's designed that way to save power, which is just totally crazy. But I'll get into that later on in the video. So we're in hour 2. It says we have about 2 hours left according to the Jackery running it full out, but the Frigidaire has been kicking on and off. The only reason why it's not since we've been in here is because I've opened the door. We get a considerable amount of heat loss when it's 105 degrees outside every time I come in and out of here. So we will restart the timer, and I'll check back in the next hour. Until then. All right. We are now at the end of hour 3. So you can see by the timer, it's about to pop an hour. Let's see. 70 degrees inside, and it's cooled down to a measly 100 degrees outside. So it's definitely still extremely hot. All right, let's see where we're at. Okay, we're at 30%, pulling 465 watts, got an hour left, 1.1 hour left. And if you notice, that input still says 0, even though we're plugged into the solar panel on top the Runaway. By contrast, pulling 37 watts from the lights and such on the Jackery 500, which is hooked up to the other solar panel. And it's pulling 38 watts in, 37 watts in at 100%. So, and we just hit the 60-minute mark again. So that's the end of hour 3. Start it back over. And here we go for the 4th hour. When this timer hits 60 minutes, it'll be 4 hours, which is about when this thing will probably peter out. Like I said, it's been extremely hot. And there's not much insulation in these Runaway campers at all, so outside's 100, 105, 107 degrees, and it takes a lot to cool these things off and keep them cool. And it's sitting in direct sun, it's not under any shade right now, so it really does make these little 5,000 BTU air conditioners work, but perfectly comfortable in here. Actually, it's a little bit cooler in here than it is in the house right now, so, which is kind of awesome. So this Jackery is probably going to be pretty close to its estimate, I would say, before it's all said and done, because I think when we first started it's like 4.5 hours or something like that it'll run this BTU and this air conditioner, and it's pretty much been non-stop running. It's kicked off a few times, but it's just so hot, and this camper has had so long, so we'll see what happens in the final hour or so. So I'll get back with you. All right. Jackery is at 1%, pulling 454 watts, so it's about to kick off. Temperature 68 degrees. Outside it finally cooled down to 95, so still pretty hot for the time it is. We're at 71 minutes, so it's an hour and 11 minutes so far. And it's still going, so we're going to wait till it completely kicks off. So their estimate was pretty close, within probably 10-15 minutes. Sun's starting to go down, so we're pulling 32 watts out of the Jackery 500 and only bringing in 18 watts on it, but like I said, still input on this is 0 watts, so this thing's about ready to kick off, I'm sure. I am impressed that you can run a air conditioner for 4.5 hours off of this battery bank. Technology certainly has come a long ways. We're at 73 minutes now on that, so that's 4 hours and 13 minutes. This last 1%'s taking longer than I thought it would. Yeah, it's so hot outside. It kicks off for probably 30 seconds. That might have been the compressor, and then it kicks right back on. Hard to believe, you know, 7:15, 7:30 at night, it's still that hot. 95.2 degrees outside. And that's in the shade. I don't even have the thermometer in the sun out there. So it definitely looks like the Jackery was probably only off by maybe 15 minutes on its estimated time when we started and until it's finally going to kick. So kind of like watching paint dry. As soon as it kicks off, I'm going to take you outside and show you the solution to waking this Jackery up and letting it take in solar power. It just boggles my mind that as much as these things cost, that they would put an MPPT controller in this thing that doesn't wake itself up and it allows the solar panel current to flow into the battery unless you manually go out there, unplug the cables, and plug them back in to wake the MPPT charger up. It's crazy. When the little Jackery 500 will do it, and you don't have to nursemaid it and be there to plug it in and plug it out. It's crazy to me. I don't know what their brilliant minds were thinking, but they definitely missed this one. Man, this 1%'s taking forever. 3 to 2 went quick. Probably going to have to speed this part up. I'm going to get this setting here a certain way so when it goes off, I can go out and show you what the issue is. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to go out there, unplug it, the cable, plug it back in. It'll wake up the MPPT charger and it'll start charging. It's a crazy little setup. It's definitely a miss from Jackery. All right, I'm gonna, actually, you know what, I think I'll take you guys outside and show you that it's plugged in, and then unplug it, plug it back in, and then come back in here, and you'll see that it'll be charging. So let's go do that. I think that's a good idea. All right, if we'll come right out here, air conditioner's still running out. 1%'s taking forever, for sure, but it's close enough now that I know. But this is the input for the Jackery solar panels for the top one. And if I unplug it, plug it back in, that's all you need to do. And then once we go inside, you'll see it's, although the sun is down, as soon as we go inside, you'll look and it'll be charging. Granted, it isn't charging much right now because, you know, we're almost out of sunlight. Sun's over the house now, so just a barely little bit. Generally, when this happens, not all the time, because I've had it happen a few times, there'll be an actual error down here that'll say F7 or F something. I think it's F7. And that'll tell you that you need to go out there and plug in the solar panel and it'll start working. It's really a crazy thing. So I've actually contacted Jackery, and I haven't heard a response from them, except for the automated responses. And you know, you need to send this and send that out. But on the Jackery forums, another fella got a response from them, and I'm going to read you what the official Jackery response was. So here we go. Thank you so much for your patience, as I just received a response from our engineering team. They informed me that your 2000 Pro unit is not defective, and that is currently designed to function in this manner to conserve power. Furthermore, he explained that because our generator does not have a smart feature built in yet, granted, now remember, this thing's $2,000, and it's saying it doesn't have a smart feature built in yet. In order to keep it recharging, you would need to manually unplug and plug back in to restart the process. We do apologize for the inconvenience, and our engineering team is working on making further improvements in the future. To me, that's just crazy. That is absolutely crazy that you would spend this kind of money on a unit and you have to babysit it. I mean, that's basically what it comes down here. You really just have to babysit the unit. I heard tell the 1500 you don't have to. And obviously my Jackery 500, I've never had to do that. So it's kind of crazy. So my thoughts are, I love the Jackery. That issue right there is enough to make me almost want to send it back and get the 1500. You know, if you're looking for a battery pack that you can charge in your house, use for an emergency, or, you know, charge it in your house and take it out camping for a day or two, that's great. But if you're actually looking for a solar generator, which this is what this is supposed to be, you know, as it uses, it'll pull in solar power on its own, this isn't the unit for you. Now, if you want to go out there when you notice it is not charging, and unplug and plug back in your solar panel to wake up the MPPT controller, it's a great unit, I guess. But I really feel they missed the mark on this. I'm probably going to do another video on the actual problem with the Jackery, and hopefully next time it'll show that F7 code down there so you can see it. I've had to do it a couple times where it never shows the F7 code, and other times it does. So anyway, so it kicked off at 81 minutes, because I've been yapping for about a minute and a half. So that means 4 hours and 21 minutes. And at the very beginning of this, it said 4.5 hours. So it was pretty dead on. So you can definitely run the 5000 BTU Frigidaire air conditioner on the Jackery 2000 Pro for about 4.5 hours. Like I said, it's been extremely hot here, you know, moderate temperatures in the 80s. Probably get another hour or two out of it, just because, you know, it wouldn't be kicking on and off so much. So there you go. If you guys have any questions or comments, just drop them below and I'll get back with you when I can. Like I said, I haven't made up my mind if they haven't offered to exchange it yet, but I think I could probably get them to exchange it and get the 1500. And I might go that route, because I really would like the solar panels to do what they need to do without me having to plug them in and unplug them just to wake the MPPT controller up. To me, that's just unacceptable. But anyways, for now, this is my Okie Life. Later.